Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Premier Injuries Daily Update. Now, if I'm looking a bit rough, it's because I am feeling a little bit rough after that result yesterday. A fantastic 3-3. Unfortunate to take all 3 points, but I would have happily taken that draw before kickoff on Sunday. But back to the matters in hand. We still have one game to go in game week 3, of course. That's Manchester United, who entertain Liverpool. For Liverpool, news breaking today that the injury, the groin problem that forced Joel Matip out of game week 2, may be a little bit more serious than initially thought. Jurgen Klopp had suggested that it would be around about 2 weeks on the sidelines, but in his latest interview, was a little bit unsure with regards to when his centre back would return. He said 2, 3, 4 weeks, possibly. So again, nothing definitive on that. We do know that Joe Gomez will start alongside Virgil van Dijk at Old Trafford this evening. Jurgen Klopp confirmed that. For Manchester United, we expect Anthony Martial to return to the matchday squad, but Erik ten Hag may ring the changes. Of course, they were on the receiving end of that humiliating 4-1 loss to Brentford last time out. Now, with regards to a roundup of the problems from last weekend, we have the Cherries in Bournemouth. Dominic Solanke, Scott Parker said that the striker was never really in contention to return in game week 3 against Arsenal. He suffered a training ground ankle problem on the eve of game week 2. Now, it is hoped that he will return to training this week. It sounds as if he won't be involved in that domestic league cup midweek, so possibly maybe for the matchday squad in week 4. Junior Stanislas, he was also a late problem, picked up a groin issue last Thursday. He's had that scanned. It doesn't look like it's going to be too serious, but of course that kept him out of game week 3, and we're waiting to find out how serious it is and when he could potentially return. Being nothing more than a bit part player so far this season. Aston Villa, Courtney House, Steven Gerrard spoke about Diogo Carlos and his lengthy recovery from a ruptured Achilles problem. He's now had surgery to repair that. We do know typically it's 6 to 7 months, so he will miss the remainder of this year. Doesn't look like the Villains will be dipping back into that transfer market. Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings, those look to be the two first choice centre-back pairings, but you also have Callum Chambers in there, and also Courtney House. He's recovered from a double problem, then knee surgery. He wasn't in the squad at the weekend, but he is training normally, and he could be one of those players that looks to build fitness in the cup competition. For Nottingham Forest, Morgan Gibbs-White became their 16th signing of the summer transfer window, and Steve Cooper said that the Forest may not be finished just yet. Moussa Niakite has been rolled out for a few months or several months with a hamstring problem he picked up in game week 2. So the centre-back is out. Now, Steve Cook come in the weekend there, and there are other options for Steve Cooper, but like I say, he did suggest that there may be 1 or 2 incomings, possibly on loan. They have been linked with Sergio Reguilon from Tottenham as a possibility to come in there as well. Now, Brentford, new signing Damsgaard, he was out of the matchday squad at the weekend. Thomas Frank said that was a tactical decision. There was no injury related there. He is one that will play midweek to build fitness. It purely comes down to the fact that he needs to improve that sharpness to push himself to be involved. But another decent performance from Brentford, if not the result that we wanted. So we haven't seen too many changes in that Bees lineup, but Damsgaard is a quality player. So once he's fit and ready, we do expect him to really be pushing for a place in that starting 11. Leicester, we knew ahead of kickoff from Brendan Rodgers that Wesley Fofana would not be included in that Foxes squad. Apparently, it was an agreement between the player and the manager following discussions with regards to interest of a move to Chelsea. Now, some reports suggest that personal terms have been agreed, although Chelsea haven't submitted a third offer for the Leicester centre-back. So this one's dragging on a little bit. Now, the defeat at Ellen Road, that might prompt the Chelsea hierarchy to hasten things up, particularly Koulibaly was sent off for his second bookable offence, so he will serve a 1-match ban. Blink, and you may have missed it, Southampton Theo Walcott returned to the Saints bench. That's the first appearance of the season. He didn't get any minutes, but of course, that came in under the radar because Ralph Hasenhüttl said, he's missed a chunk of pre-season. He's building himself back up to full fitness. So we wouldn't maybe, round about maybe games week 4 to 6, we may see Theo Walcott more involved in that. For Newcastle, touched upon it at the head of this show, great result on Sunday, but it didn't come out without its problems. Dan Burn, a notable withdrawal late on, deep into time added on, around about that 94th, 95th minute. He was concussed. So Eddie Howe said, of course, because of the protocol, he won't be involved midweek. However, he would be fine for game week 4 should he be cleared to go through that concussion program. Now it is a 5 or 6 phase program, the 6th phase being a return to play. So there are assessments and protocols that he must tick off along the way to try and ensure that he's in a position to be selected by Eddie Howe. If he does miss out, then I would fully expect Matt Targett to recover from that hamstring-related problem that's kept him out the last 2, and it would mean that like-for-like swap with Targett coming in at left-back. Callum Wilson, he was a withdrawal halfway through the second half, had complained of a little bit of tightness in his hamstring at half-time on Sunday. Nothing too serious. Eddie Howe said they were keeping a close eye on him from the touchlines, and it looked as if Callum wasn't fully opening up. And what he means by that is, lengthening his stride and comfortable with his sprint. Therefore, they took the decision to bring him off and bring Chris Wood on. They wanted somebody fully fit who could push for the 90. So fingers crossed. That's absolutely fine. It was caught in time and nothing risk, of course. Callum Wilson was back on the score sheet. For West Ham United, Soufal, he was another player that took a blow to the head. He's concussed. Reports suggest, I didn't actually see the game, but reports suggest that he was actually knocked out cold. So because of that protocol, he will have to serve that minimum amount of time. And again, he will be absent for their Europa Conference League tie against Viborg on Thursday, but he would be eligible for next Sunday as long as he ticks off those assessments within that protocol. Elsewhere, Craig Dawson, not too far away, missed games this term because of that niggling thigh complaint that has hampered him throughout pre-season. But of course, Zakira, the new signing, came in. So that does ease the burden on David Moyes' backline. And finally, Manchester City, we had a couple of injuries there. Nathan Ake was forced off in and around that 21st minute due to a groin-related problem. And he was a surprise starter alongside John Stones. Now, that was purely a tactical decision. Ruben Diaz was the one that initially started on the bench. Diaz coming into the play, but we'll wait and see the outcome of imaging and scans to find out the extent of the Ake problem. What we do know is City flew straight off to Barcelona from Newcastle Airport on Sunday, and they're travelling into Barcelona for a charity fundraiser at the Camp Nou. Now, Ake will not be a part of that. Remains to be seen whether Jack Grealish will. He wasn't involved in the matchday squad, picked up a knock against Bournemouth prior to the Newcastle game. It was revealed as a slight ligament problem, a bit of a knock, nothing too serious. Again, it's minor. So whether he's not risked in that game midweek, he could have an outside chance of being involved in game week 4. So that's it for your roundup as of today. Like I say, we will be back Tuesday or Wednesday with any further updates. But during the interim, you can always hit me up at Ben Dinnery on Twitter, or check out the @Premier Injuries social media channels. Or we do have the Premier Injuries table, which is premierinjuries.com. But for now, that's all. We'll see you all again very soon.